Hey, friends. So, some of you may know that I love to run my year listening into the planetary rhythms rather than being dictated to by the calendar. I've learned through trial and error that my embodied experience, if I can kind of tune into it, is happier around this time of year in the winter time if it can take some time to wake up instead of immediately expecting it to be back on and fully functioning by the 1st of January. It just isn't how it feels my body should be operating. It feels like something in it wants to be still a little half asleep or a little kind of finishing early or taking it easy before I kind of step full on into the flow of the year. And so for that reason, I've started practicing my ritual envisioning at Imbolg, which is around the end of January, 1st of February. That's the kind of significance of that. The significance of that time is it's the very, the first stirrings of spring. And last year in 2024, I ran a workshop called The First Stirrings of Spring, Feldenkrais Free Movement and Ritual Envisioning for a workshop for Imbolg. And I've decided to release that as an evergreen product. So want to thank very much the people who were happy to be on camera for that first workshop, knowing that it might reach a wider audience at a different point. Very grateful to you all. Thank you. And the way it flows is still as it flowed originally. So we start with some developmental movement, some Feldenkrais. We move into some somatic anchoring of your intention. Let it be expressed on some free movement, exploratory movement, and then move into capturing it or articulating it or finding a form for it through collage and drawing, writing, painting, whatever form that wants to turn into. And there's space for sharing, reflection, and breaks in between. But the whole thing can be done in 3 hours. That was the length of the original workshop. But I'd recommend, if now that you can do this as a self-paced piece, that you take as much time as you like. You might like a little bit of extra break after the Feldenkrais lesson. You might like some more time doing some free movement. You're very likely to want more time with a collage because the 15 minutes that I allowed in the original workshop wasn't really enough. So take your time with it. But it is designed to be in that order. Yeah, so the intention with this workshop is to support you to do your envisioning, do your future planning, do your wishes for the year from a more embodied, deeper place inside you. Oftentimes when we think about a resolution like a new year, I don't like that word resolution because it feels like it's got a fist. It just feels like there's a rigidity in it and I already feel like I'm probably going to fail as I say those words. For some reason, that's what it does inside my body. Whereas the word intention feels much more open. It feels like I can kind of participate in it. It's got some flexibility in it and it doesn't hold me under the cosh. So I like intention much better. So I'm going to use that word. And also, I'm really interested in not overriding this thing in me that likes to still go a little quieter and slower at this time of year. So if I was to not override that and actually pay attention to that, tune into that, then when might be a lovely time for me to do this workshop? And I want to invite you to consider that. Like, when might be a really beautiful time to do it? Maybe it wants to be done around Imbolg. Maybe it wants to be done a little later in spring. Maybe it really does want to be done now, just as we're sort of waking up to the new calendar year, you know. So tune in and maybe you want to revisit it as well. Kind of tune in, do it a couple of times over the next month or two. Yeah, so that's the invitation. Enjoy. Look forward to hearing how you get on with it. And blessings on your new year.